another one of your female fighters, Holly Holm, just had a fight, right? And what'd you make of that one? You know, it was obviously a fairly close fight.
Yeah, I heard it was close. I was in Iceland on my honeymoon, so I wasn't there and I didn't get to
Right.
see it. But I heard that we did well, and a lot of people thought we won, which is great. But I won't. Holly wouldn't even want me to mention this, but she had a pretty significant injury. She'll never make excuses. She's Holly is probably, if not in the top 10 toughest people I've ever met, she's right number 11. Like she is, and I hang out with the toughest of the tough. She is such an amazingly strong person that she even took that fight at all and didn't get out of it. I won't mention the injury, but it was significant. And I was super impressed with her. Win or lose, I was just impressed with her courage. I mean, she's just phenomenally courageous person. And to not make excuses afterwards, especially, just shows you who Holly is. And again, I feel privileged that I get to work with her. She's amazing.
Yeah, I did think it was a close fight. And Holly is amazing, by the way. She looks like, you know, just from afar, I don't know her obviously or anything, but she seems like a very strong-willed woman, a leader in that gym, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you make of like sort of judging, you know, because obviously there's been some controversies and all that. And what do you make of all these close decisions? You think there's any way that this could be fixed at all? Obviously, some people talk about open scoring. Some people talk about bringing in more like fighters to judge the fights. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, obviously it would be nice to get more education and stuff, but it's still, so this has been discussed. This is nothing new since judging started in the sport. So let's see, 95-ish on. It's always been discussed, like, judges don't have the background, or a judge will, if it's a jiu-jitsu background judge, they'll give more props to jiu-jitsu than they will to the kickboxing. You know what I mean? So even if you get education, even if you do all this stuff, I'm sure there's things that can help. But I've never seen like a definitive, because it's a human's opinion. I've never seen something that will get it all in line of how we think it should be, so to speak. You're always going to have anomalies. Listen, and I'll tell you right now, I'm terribly biased. I could never judge. Like if I'm your friend, I'm always going to think you're winning. I'm that kind of a guy.
Yeah.
So I respect a judge's job. Like I couldn't do it. I couldn't be a referee. I couldn't be a judge. Those are things that are beyond my capabilities of doing well. So I respect them. And yeah, I mean, listen, whatever, just tell me what the parameters are and we'll do it. But I've been on the side of like, oh, I thought we lost that fight, but I guess we won it. And I've been on there's no way we lost that fight. We definitely won. I've been on both ends of that equation over and over and over and over. If open scoring helps, then that's great. If more education helps, that's great. I don't know if it can hurt. But I don't see one thing that's going to be like magically poof. Now the judging is all great.
Yeah.
I don't see, human beings are human. We make mistakes. We're fallible. We have opinions about things that may conflict with other people's opinions about what's important in that fight. So yeah, I mean, it would be nice if you could talk to each judge beforehand and go, listen, what are you looking for? So that you could tailor your game plan to win, but that's just not the way it is. So you just have to try to win the fight the way you fight.
Yeah. Back to Holly. Where does Holly go from here? Like, where would you think? Because she is obviously not her first rodeo. She's already a legend of the sport. She's already accomplished everything I would imagine she set out to do, right? UFC champion. Where do you think she goes from here?
I think she's got a few more fights in her. I think if she gets her injury fixed up and stuff, I think that she's going to have a few more fights in her. And after that, the sky's the limit when she decides to retire. She's very smart and she can do anything she wants. But I don't feel like she's getting like just dominated out there, even injured. I feel like she's still in the mix with high level competition. 2 fights and we might get another shot at a title. So it's all obviously, but I'm not prepared to be like, oh, she needs to retire or anything like that. I don't think her performances warrant that response.
I mean, I don't expect you to have an answer, right? But there's some rumors going around about Holly boxing Katie Taylor. Is there any truth to that?
Not that I know of, but what I don't know could fill a library and then some.
Right. Yeah. There's
But
so much going on in the world as it is. So
yeah, right. Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if she's planning on that or not. She has not mentioned anything like that to me, and nor has Wink.